If you agree with her that we should stop, that actions have no consequences and that nobody's ever responsible anymore, and it's always somebody else's fault when a criminal sodomizes a young girl, and everybody ought to get a trophy. I mean, I wish we lived in a world like that, but that's what she believes. And you know it, and I know it. And she has recanted after she got caught, and she got caught because she didn't turn it over to us, for God's sakes. Senator, we had to find it on our own. Shame on her. And every single time when she has got to, on the federal bench, she has got to sentence a criminal defendant, this is going to be grounds for appeal. For God's sakes, does the rule of law mean nothing?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, let me share a timeless political saying: when a nation begins to forget justice, it won't be long before it forgets freedom too. So I ask you, please like, share, and subscribe. Pour yourself a drink, coffee, sweet tea, bourbon, or whatever keeps your patriotic spirit strong, because today's story deserves your complete attention. And make sure you stay with me all the way to the end.
Kennedy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Russell sent a letter to the governor of Connecticut during the pandemic. Here's what she said, quote, "As they stand, prisons and jails are detrimental to public health and human rights and disproportionately harm marginalized communities, including Black, brown, indigenous, and other communities of color, immigrants, people with mental illness, people with disabilities, people in the LGBTQ plus community, people who use drugs, people engaged in sex work and street economies, and people experiencing houselessness and poverty." Then she went on to request the governor to immediately release everybody in jail in Connecticut. It's unclear to me whether she was talking about just during the pandemic or on a permanent basis. Then she goes on to tell the governor of Connecticut to stop putting people in jail. And it's still unclear to me whether she meant just for the duration of the pandemic or on an extended basis. And on top of all of that, the cherry on top, she didn't turn the letter over to the committee. I don't know why she didn't. Perhaps she thought, I'm not saying this is the case, she thought we wouldn't find it. It took about 7.3 minutes on Google to find it. Now, this is America. Ms. Russell has a constitutional right to believe in these things and to say those things. She does not have a constitutional right to be a federal judge. And she's not qualified to be a federal judge if those are her beliefs. How can any criminal defendant in front of her or any prosecutor in front of her think that they're getting a fair shake in light of this letter when she sentences someone to prison, if she ever does sentence someone to prison? It's just simply breathtaking. And for that reason, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to be voting no.
Extraordinarily.
Would the senator yield for a question?
Mr. Chairman, my name was invoked. Can I respond just quickly?
Senator Kennedy.
I appreciate Senator Blumenthal's comments. But, Richard, here's how I see it. She got caught. She got caught. She had an epiphany once she got caught. And I am looking at her qualifications, and I am looking at her record. And I don't know that she didn't help write this letter. I know she signed it. And I know she tried to hide it from this committee. So even if you
What we just watched in that hearing was anything but routine Senate debate. This was Senator John Kennedy bringing real scrutiny to a judicial nominee who, frankly, seemed to be counting on the committee not digging too deep. Because when you put your name on a letter demanding the governor empty the prisons immediately, and then somehow fail to disclose that same letter during your confirmation process, that's not an innocent oversight. That's a warning sign you can't ignore. Kennedy didn't sugarcoat it. She was caught. And only after being confronted again and again did the explanations start flowing, the sudden backtracking, the careful clarifications, the familiar promises of fairness. Anyone who spent years watching politics, as I have, knows this pattern all too well. It's the classic confirmation conversion, when firm ideology suddenly softens the moment real authority is within reach. The senator's argument was straightforward. If someone believes prisons themselves are fundamentally unjust, if they believe incarceration should be avoided altogether, and if they see certain offenders as beyond accountability because of social circumstances, then how can prosecutors, victims, or the public trust that person to enforce the law impartially? His warning carries weight. Federal judges serve for life. Their rulings shape communities, define rights, and influence the balance between freedom and order. And when a judge approaches the bench with a worldview that shifts responsibility away from individuals and onto society alone, every decision risks becoming unpredictable, and there's another layer to it. Every case she touches could face challenges based not just on legal arguments, but on her own past statements, her signed letter, and the questions surrounding her transparency. The senators understand exactly what that could mean. Then Senator Cornyn raised an equally serious concern. The judiciary's legitimacy depends entirely on trust. People must believe that judges are fair, honest, and guided by the law, not personal activism. But if a nominee appears to mislead Congress before even taking the oath, the options afterward are limited. Impeachment becomes the only remedy, and no one wants to see the system pushed to that point. That's why Kennedy emphasized the importance of the confirmation process itself. His responsibility, as he sees it, is to prevent individuals he considers unfit from gaining lifetime authority. Because once confirmed, their influence is lasting, and reversing course becomes extraordinarily difficult. At its core, this isn't just another political clash. It's a deeper question about the integrity of the courts and the meaning of the rule of law. Now I want to hear from you. What's your take on everything that happened? Share your thoughts below.